Welcome back to Edgework, part of the Hammer Betting Network, presented by FanDuel. I'm Zack Phillips, joined on a four-man panel here today by Alex Moretto, Matt Alber, and So Money. We'll dig into all the games here. We'll answer your questions from the chat. I'm sure at the end of the show here, we'll also have a couple of parlays, but with a massive slate here, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. You guys know hockey season is in full swing, and with FanDuel, you can turn a little hunch into a true power play. FanDuel has the hottest same-game parlays found on the Parlay Hub. Lace them up and follow your bets with player prop tracking or bet on the fly with the Pulse. Make every NHL watching experience more with FanDuel, North America's #1 sportsbook. And right now, new customers kick off season with $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Just place any $5 bet and you'll get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Please play responsibly. You must be 19 plus, physically located in Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-866-531-2600. That's 1-866-531-2600 or visit connectsontario.ca. All right, gentlemen, let's do it here. We have
already. I like the comment about Moretto playing for Montreal. Yeah, so he joined our little chat thing before we get on. And the first thing I said to him is he looks like a Montreal Canadiens draft pick.
Unfortunately, I'm not. Just showing off the new Christmas gifts I got for myself. So this is a good one too. New Year's in Ottawa. God bless you, Zach.
Yeah. I know there's literally nothing happening here. And then the other part is I'm going to the game tonight, and that rink is in the middle of nowhere. And
there might be an Applebee's close by where you can get some nice matzo sticks and
there's a gas station around the corner. Yeah. The rink is 40 minutes away or 35 minutes away, whatever, on a good day, and leaving a Canada-US game on New Year's Eve. A game that starts at 8 p.m. and will likely end at 10:45. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to be in my car for New Year's, so that's certainly a way to spend it for sure. But let's get into it here. We've got tons of games on the schedule here, so we'll run them down in order of what time everything is going off here at today, and we'll start with the 12:30 game here. Boston, Washington, the Bruins plus 120, the Caps minus 144, 5.5 the total, minus 120 over, minus 102 under. So Money, I mean, let's let you take the lead here on this one. Is there anything that's jumping out to you right away that you're saying, yep, I'm going to be betting on that?
Well, what jumps out is the way that we're seeing the Capitals price now. I think over the course of the year, we're seeing more and more respect, rightfully so, given to the Capitals here. I do believe that we've gone a little too far. Boston, as much as I'm not a long-term believer in Boston as much as Moretto is, I do think that we've gone too far here. I did play the Bruins. I just played them recently here. At down to plus 125 is good for me. I think that Washington, we're starting to see not necessarily from Logan Thompson, but from Lindgren. We're starting to see him struggle a bit. Thompson is going to start in goal, but I think that the way that Boston is playing right now, especially defensively, the price has gone a little bit too high now. So I like Washington. I've advocated for the Capitals being an elite team. I just think that at this number, we've gone a little bit too far.
What is your cutoff point on this one, So Money, for anybody else looking out there or for tracking as well?
125 is a cutoff.
Okay. All right. So we will add that in here. Alber, when you're looking at this Bruins team, a team that you love so dearly, is this something you can get behind here as well with the bet So Money's making?
I haven't bet it yet. I may. It's certainly Bruins or nothing. And even kind of when you talk about like them playing a lot better defensively, that's even with not really getting elite goaltending yet from Swayman or obviously Korpisalo. Like Swayman's still kind of been struggling. So I don't know. I do think that the Bruins are going to be pretty good going forward. I'm also kind of high on them, but I just haven't bet it yet. I might end up on it here.
Okay. Moretto, what are you thinking for this game?
Yeah. I mean, like this, it's tricky because these are obviously two teams I really like, but like I've been very high on Boston for a while, and the number that we're getting to now, like you can get plus 136, which is wild. So yeah, I do like the Bruins here. And again, it's all price dependent because it's not like I'm dying to fade Washington either. Like I think that we've talked about how Washington has been pretty disrespected in the market a lot lately, and like that is kind of gone full circle now, and we are not seeing that be the case anymore. We are seeing them go through a little bit of a mini slump here. Like either it's a mini slump or there's some actual regression happening. I'm not sure. I'm not putting a ton of stock into it. I'm not going to like suddenly start to sour on the Caps team, but like their 5-on-5 numbers have dipped a little bit. They've still found a way to grind out some good results through that, despite like a pretty tough schedule. But the offense has ticked down a bit. Boston's playing really well overall, especially defensively. Yeah, I think this number is just getting insane. This should be closer to like maybe like a minus 120-ish, minus 125-ish on the Caps. I think would be a bit fair. So yeah, Bruins, it's great. Getting a good number. At least we can hang our hats on that when Washington wins this game.
Connor here in the chat says this is an over. What are your guys' thoughts on the total that we're seeing? Is there any lean either way?
I would lean the other way. I would lean the other way. I bet at this price, I'm not interested in an under, but I did bet under 6 a much different number earlier, where I've talked about how Boston's playing defensively and how Washington's offense has ticked down a little bit, and how the Bruins like to approach these games against good teams. They're playing a lot more wide open, but when they get into these types of games, they do like to tighten things up quite a bit. And I would expect that to be the case again here. But yeah, it's run quite a bit now. Like I definitely wouldn't be dying to bet it at 5.5. And the 6s are heavily juiced at this point.
Next game, Islanders Leafs here. New York plus 125. The Leafs minus 150. 5.5 the total on FanDuel, minus 134. Over plus 110. Under right now. Alber, is there anything you like in this Islanders Leafs game?
We got 13 games. I have interest in a lot of them. This is not one of them. A lot of games, a lot of bets. I'll let these guys take it.
So money, any interest?
Well, I would have liked the under, but the thing is that we're seeing Toronto, who has been an elite defensive team, struggle a little bit defensively the last little bit here. A lot of that has to do with them just not getting the goaltending, and it's expected. We're seeing guys being put into positions of starting regularly that probably shouldn't be at this point in their careers. So it's not surprising that we're seeing the Leafs defensive numbers dip a bit. Islanders, we've talked about the Islanders quite a bit. They're a team that is not the same defensively, and they're not getting the goaltending. But I think that at 6 for this kind of game, we are where we're supposed to be. So a few weeks ago, I would have been all over this under, but right now I think that that I'll be passing on this game altogether.
Moretto, I left you for last here because I figured you might come in and drop a hammer on us on this one. Islanders, Leafs. What are you thinking in this game? Is there anything you're betting, or are you staying away as well?
Isles minus 1.5. Let's ring in the no. I got. I agree with everything So Money said. Where I want an under, and instinctively I would like an under. That's just I bet a lot of Leafs unders, and like you would think the Isles should be in this under team with Sorokin and stuff, but like the Isles have honestly just been one of the most erratic, unpredictable teams in the NHL, offensively, defensively, and in net. Like you just never know what you're going to get from them on a nightly basis. They come out there and like railroad the Canes one night in a stellar defensive effort and a good offensive game, and then they come out the next game and lay an egg against like a team like the Pens. They're just all over the map. Leafs defensive numbers have dipped. And yeah, you would expect the Leafs to try and, like play this tighter defensive game still. But like, I don't think they're scared of things at this point getting a little bit chaotic. Like if they do, they're okay with it right now and they'll embrace it. And the Isles sometimes send these games into chaos. So I would think that maybe Wall and Sorokin would be able to slam the door if that is the case, but like we haven't seen it enough from them. So I can't trust either team to get us there with this number.
AS says, all right, Zach Leaf showing up on New Year's Eve. No, but William Nylander is. That's the one way I'm
Is
going with
that
this game
a
tonight.
teaser for the parlay later?
Yeah, we'll see what the number's at when we get there, but that's the one that I liked right now. Okay, next game on the schedule here. Let's go to Habs Golden Knights. Moretto, I will let you lead on this one. Habs plus 198, the Golden Knights minus 245. It's 6.5 the total, minus 110 either side. What are you thinking about this number right now?
So, okay. I don't know how much time we have to talk about the Habs and their impressive weekend, but
About 12 seconds. Go ahead.
I will try and keep it short. But like, those were two of the most impressive games they've put in all season. To go into Florida and Tampa like they did, and not just come away with 4 points, but to actually tilt the ice at 5-on-5 and relatively like handle both those games comfortably for 120 minutes was completely out of the norm for this team. Very unexpected, very surprising, but very impressive. Doc looks finally back to sort of being himself. Line is getting up to speed now and starting to make a difference at 5-on-5, which, Carrier obviously has helped balance things on the back end. It's not just his presence that's been like the difference, but how he's able to then partner with Gouli in sort of a shutdown role and take those tougher minutes, free up Matheson and Hudson to play more of that offensive game. It's just made them a much more well-rounded team. And I honestly, you need to see it for longer, but I do think there are going to be a lot more spots to bet this team going forward, where I think they're still not going to get necessarily the respect they deserve for a little while. They're not necessarily a good team either still, but like they're being priced as a very bad team. And I think we're going to see this sort of trend that we saw over the weekend is going to be a little bit more to what we can expect from them going forward, as opposed to the team they were before all these, guys came back. That being said, I'm not looking to back them here. I do think now, I don't know if we can wait a little bit longer because the over keeps getting bet. And I actually kind of lean the other way in this game. I wasn't going to bet it, but I'm at a point where like we're getting at the prices we're getting now. I'm getting a lot more interested in betting it. Vegas, like they're getting good goaltending. I get that like Vegas can really generate a ton right now, but they don't necessarily have to in these cases. I think for the Habs too, to keep things going the way they've been playing, they really need to key into that defensive game that they've found a groove there and they're playing really well on their own end. Last game versus Vegas, I think that'll kind of live in their heads a little bit where they gave up 6 goals. They got railroaded in that second period. Arrested Montembeault here. I'd expect him to be a lot better. Vegas is getting great goaltending. Habs increase in offense. I don't fully buy into it still. That's the one thing where I think, as a younger team, that will be a little bit more like something that comes in waves. Vegas should be able to keep it in check. So yeah, I like the under. I probably will end up betting it now. And I just don't know if we got some room to wait even longer, but like I wouldn't say widely available, but there's 6.5, like almost getting plus money at this point. There's minus 101. We're getting minus 105s popping. I do like it at those prices.
Yeah, I'm just looking here right now, and what we're seeing on BetStamp looks like there is minus 105s, but not quite fully within that range. A lot of it is at the minus 110s. Moretto, just keep an eye, and then if it gets there, we can come back and we can add this one in. So look around. If anybody else out there is looking, take what Moretto said and use that information how you will. But as of right now, not going to track it unless it continues to move that way. So, Money, any thoughts for you here on this game? Any agreement with what Moretto said about side or total?
I agree for the most part. I think that both of these goaltenders, assuming that we're getting Hale and Montembeault, I like them both, and they're both trending better for me as well. So the first look would have been an under. However, there's some reservations I have. Montreal, yes, granted, they played well, better defensively the last couple of games, but Moretto would know this all too well. A team like Montreal, wouldn't this be a spot where they would just get shoved in, right? So Vegas are playing at an elite level, offensively and defensively, especially at home. It's not a team that I want to get in front of necessarily, and I think that if this game is played the way that Vegas wants to play this game, we could see some goals. But either way, it's not something that I'm that I'm rushing towards. Again, my initial thought based on the goaltending matchup was the under, but I'm not going to be able to get there. Get there even with the 6.5 here, with the way that Vegas is able to generate, especially at home.
Alber, anything for you in this game?
So my first look was an over. That's kind of moved. I'm not really interested in it at this point. I think kind of the one caveat I have, especially with Vegas right now, and they've obviously been playing really well, is they've been playing a really shitty slate of teams the last week or so. So I think you look at it, it's like if you look at the recent underlying numbers, they're going to be really strong. But they played Calgary, San Jose, Anaheim, Seattle, Vancouver's a little bit of a mess. So like going back a little bit, they've been good, and obviously Montreal's not the strongest of teams, but I certainly have a bit of an asterisk on it at this point, especially with the Habs team that, yes, they're a young team, so it's going to come and go, but right now they're playing well. So like there's nothing there that says to me like, oh, they couldn't continue this, although I do agree at some point like they're going to go through struggles again. But like that's a team that while they're hot, like they're probably going to stay hot for a little bit. I don't know. I was interested in the over. I think the number's gone, so nothing for me.
Final one, our next one here. Sorry, the Winter Classic. I think this one is is it just an outdoor game? Is it a Winter Classic or what the fuck is this one? But the outdoor game that every single person is gonna have to tune in for here today because of how amazing it's gonna be. The Blues and the Blackhawks. St. Louis -142, the Blackhawks +118, 5.5 total, -104 over, -118 under. Alber, why don't you kick us off here on the outdoor game here today that you're so excited about?
Do I even do the rant on air of how stupid this scheduling spot is? Putting this at 5:00 on today. It makes no sense. As far as the game goes, like, God, what a snoozer. I could not be less interested in actually watching this game. And I imagine there's a lot of people in the same boat. Like, you put this game at 5:00, every other game in the league starts at 8:00. So like anyone who's going to or going to be watching another game is probably going to miss the end of this. As far as the game goes, like, do I really want to lay -140 with the Blues? No. Do I want the Blackhawks +120? No. Do I think the total's about right? Yeah. So I don't have anything in it, and I'm not very excited to watch it.
So, Money, are you excited to watch this?
I'm always excited to watch the Blackhawks.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I think that...
Do you enjoy pain? I don't get it.
Yeah, sometimes. Just depends on the situation. But
good point here from Jordan. Could be worse.
I don't even need the Rangers. we don't need to do this. So when Moretto, all right, we'll go back to it really quick. So when Moretto was talking about like the Habs going through Florida and Tampa and kind of winning both, I was just sitting here thinking, wow, there's a team that can go to Florida and Tampa and win one, let alone two. Like that's allowed. The Habs literally do it. And less than a week later, the Rangers go and actually played pretty well both games, but obviously lose both because that's what they do. But yeah, I don't even need the Rangers to play outside. The Rangers can play inside and be just as dog shit. All right, back to the end.
Yeah, so basically, I've got nothing here. I think that the goaltending matchup obviously favors St. Louis, assuming that we get Binnington and Mrazek. Binnington has been good. Mrazek has been struggling, especially in his last couple of games here, and after his long, well, not as long, but after being hurt for a bit there. So that 5.5 total makes it tough. And like, I mean, the outdoor game, it kind of skews things as well, right? So I'll have nothing here. I will be watching because I like watching this Blackhawks team. But other than that, I won't have anything in this game.
Moretto, you got anything in this one?
No, we can keep it quick. I wanted Blues and I wanted under, and the prices are in a place where I actually don't have any interest in either. So I do think, like we've seen the Blues, they basically handle these teams. Like when they step up a weight class, they kind of get crushed, and when they punch down, they handle things very well. So, and they don't give up much. Chicago's not generating much, but like the Blackhawks also are pretty leaky right now, and they're not getting the saves. So that doesn't exactly excite me into betting a 5.5 under.
Okay. Next game here. We will jump to is the Winnipeg, Colorado game. The Jets plus 160, the Avs minus 194, 6.5 total plus 100 over, minus 122 under. So money. What are you thinking here between Jets and Avalanche?
I did play the under here. I like it up to minus 115. We'll get Comrie in goal, and we touched on it yesterday where there is an adjustment against Comrie, and we see the adjustment towards the over and against the Jets. The move against the Jets versus Colorado makes sense. Colorado, the way that they've been playing, and just market sentiment picking up on Colorado now, it justifies the price on them. The over has gotten adjusted too much, and that's strictly due to Comrie most likely getting the start tonight. So at 6.5, Colorado is still an under team. Winnipeg is still an under team. I think that the way that this game will be played, neither of these teams necessarily want to get into a back and forth with each other. I believe the Jets, the way they play with Comrie, they insulate him a lot more, and we talked about him yesterday. He's not as bad as the market wants to make him out to be. So at 6.5, I think we've gone too far on his adjustment there. So I do have the 6.5 there.
6.5 minus 114 we add as a best bet for today here. Moretto, you are the undertaker. What are you thinking about this underplay?
I have an under bet in this game. It doesn't take much for me to get on these Avs unders lately. This is a good spot for it, where we're getting a really nice price because of the fact that, somebody said it, market's overreacted to Comrie. This isn't Jonas Johansson, who, mind you, is looking like an all-star these days. This is Eric Comrie, who's going to give you like a baseline, average sort of goaltending. And I think we see something I've noticed too with the Jets, which I think, bears mentioning. Maybe it's just way too small a sample and it's completely just noise and there's nothing to it. But like, they're 0-3 this year in back-to-backs, and they've scored just 4 goals in those games. Their offense has really died out in the second half of these, and Comrie started all those. I think it's not necessarily just that their offense dies out in back-to-backs. I don't really think that has anything to do with it. But I think it's more that when Comrie starts, they change the way that they play, where they're generating a lot less and they're trying to shelter him a little bit more. They're not looking to get into these like crazy back and forth games like they do maybe sometimes with Hellebuck, where they know that he's going to bail them out and make these saves, and they can give up these odd man rushes and these big high danger chances and come away unscathed often. They know that that's not necessarily the case with Comrie, so they do change that approach. I think they are definitely going to want to change that approach against an Avs team that can burn you if you get into that type of game with them. But the Avs don't want to get into that type of game either. They've been playing good defensive hockey for a while now. They're getting the goaltending. They especially tighten up in these sort of higher profile games. We've seen them play some really good teams lately and give up absolutely nothing. So under 6.5 that are widely available here. They're all, there's a lot of minus 115s, a little bit better even. I'm on that.
Double best bet there on that under. Alber, you want to make it a triple?
Triple.
Wow.
And especially the Avs now, especially with getting Blackwood, like the whole concern with kind of betting Avs unders before is that you were just going to get a garbage goaltending effort. And they got Mackenzie Blackwood, who I've been very high on all year. I continue to be very high on. He's been very good since coming to Colorado. Kind of touched on the Comrie thing yesterday, where I know so many and I are both a little higher on him than the market is. I personally really like Mackenzie Blackwood too. So, under 6.5, give it to me, triple.
For those of you who are watching and haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe here to the channel at Edgework HQ, live Monday to Friday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Obviously, no, not tomorrow though. Wednesday, January 1st, no games tomorrow, so we will not be live here. But if you're watching and you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to drop your comments, your thoughts, your questions in the chat there. We will try to address them as the show goes on, but next game to get to, Devils and the Ducks. New Jersey minus 285, the Ducks plus 230, 6.5 total, minus 108 over, minus 112 under. Moretto, I'll let you go on this one. What are you thinking here?
So we're now getting some prices going a little bit, but we had 6s at open, and then we got the over took money, and then to 6.5, and now maybe it's getting bet back down a little bit. I like the under here. Again, another under. Like Ducks, obviously not a very good team. They do have this crazy range. They can be a fun team to sort of take shots with the big numbers. This isn't one of those spots. Devils are a well-oiled machine, and you're not going to see them turn in too many stinkers against bad teams. Like you look at the last couple of months, and they handle these games very, very professionally. Obviously, they have lost a couple of them. Columbus, the Blues, they lost to the Sharks, but like those weren't exactly like stinkers. They turned in very good, dominant games in a lot of those, and they just kind of got goalied, which is obviously a possibility as well here, given what the Ducks have to offer in net. But like the Devils just tend to suck the life out of these games. That's what they do. They don't give up anything. They play with the puck. They don't allow the other team to have much possession. They don't give up many chances. They kind of, that's how you want to play against this Ducks team too. Like there's no need to open it up and, give Dostal or Gibson a chance to steal one and give up a bunch at the other end. So yeah, they have a big game coming up New Year's Day against the Kings. Don't need to assert themselves more than they'll need to here. So I think you'll see a very similar approach where they're just going to try and suck the life out of this one, play tight defensive hockey, get a goal or two, and try and get this one home. Get ready for tomorrow.
Under 6.5 minus 111. Good to lock in for you there, Moretto.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, we'll add that. Alber, any thoughts for you in this game?
So I definitely agree with the point about the Devils kind of sucking the life out of some of these games against the weaker teams. Like you kind of go back, like Chicago.
Alber knows it all too well.
St. Louis, they gave up nothing. Columbus, they gave up nothing. The Penguins, they gave up nothing. The Rangers, garbage team, they gave up nothing. You knew where that one was gone. I was certainly kind of closer to an over here just because I don't trust the Ducks to hold the Devils to even like 3-4 goals. Like the Devils could easily put up 5-6 on their own. Mm-hmm. That said, the numbers kind of ran. I'm not really interested at this point, but no, nothing for me.
So money, anything for you?
I like the under, assuming we get Markstrom, Gibson. Both goaltenders are trending up for me. The only concern is we don't have a Markstrom confirmation, right?
Mm-hmm, not yet.
Yeah, so we're assuming Markstrom starts. I would like him to start. I can't see any reason why they don't start him. It's just that they're on a back-to-back, so it kind of
Allen just started though. Like Allen just started the last game, right?
Right. So like they're not going to have Allen go back to back. So I think we're safe to assume that we get Markstrom, and in that case, the under makes a lot of sense. I'm not there yet fully. I do have concerns with the way that New Jersey can handle this game. I do agree that they are able to choke this game out if they want, but Anaheim they do tend to give up more chances against teams like the Devils, and then they rely on their goaltending to kind of pull them through. So that makes it a little bit tough for me. I need a better number, and if it's not getting there, I think that I will pass on this game most likely.
Okay. We add the under 6.5 minus 111 here. That is best bet. That's the third best bet of the day. If you do want to track all the picks that we've given out, you can go over to the BetStamp app, Edgework HQ. You'll find us there, as you can find all the picks that we've given out over the last 3 years. Every pick from today, yesterday, whatever it is, however you want to break them out, you can see everything in there. So make sure to head on over to the BetStamp app and track that there as well. But next game, as we motor through this massive schedule of NHL games here today, the Penguins and the Red Wings. Pittsburgh plus 104, the Red Wings minus 125, 6.5 total plus 106, over minus 130, under. So money, back to you here on this one. What are you thinking, Penguins, Red Wings?
It's a tough one. Credit to the Penguins, right? We had them written off a few weeks ago, and they've really not necessarily turned their season around, but they've picked up their play. They're playing. They are playing well. Granted, their schedule hasn't been that. What's that? Yeah. Granted, their schedule hasn't been that daunting. Detroit, Yeah, Detroit's not a team that I'm rushing to bet on either. So the number on the Penguins, I think it's gotten to a point where I do want to bet them. I don't trust the Wings at all. So Penguins, I was waiting for a little bit better, but I think that we are where we're going to be on them. So I will be betting the Penguins in the next little bit here. And it's just based on the price. I think that the Penguins being priced as a dog like this just makes I have no interest in the Wings right now.
Moretto, any interest for you?
No, both these teams suck. Honestly, I think I've done a lot of flip flopping on the Penguins this year, but I have come to the definitive conclusion that they do suck. Every time they show flashes of life and they're going to go on a run, they follow it up with some garbage. That's just what bad teams do, and the Wings are very much also very bad. I'm not saying the Wings deserve this price tag because they definitely don't. I have.
You're not
honestly,
in for the new coach bump here.
No, the new coach bump died in the first game. Apparently, they didn't even get one game out of their new coach bump. I don't know. I know they beat Washington on Sunday and stuff, but I'm not there at all on this Detroit team. Both these offenses are kind of in a rut right now too, but you can't possibly stomach an under with any goaltenders who may be starting here. So I have nothing in this game, but I would agree that the way that Pittsburgh's north of even plus 110 in some spots, maybe that's not the worst look. There are better ways for me to spend my New Year's Eve than betting on this game.
And finally, Alber, anything that you're betting on in this one?
Yeah, definitely can't stomach an under with whoever the goalies might be. Can't stomach an under with the way these teams generate offense. I agree with the Penguins. I was looking for maybe a 115 or better. Again, there's better things to do with my New Year's, and thank God the Rangers don't play tonight.
Dodged a bullet there.
Well, I think we all did.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, everyone did. I think the Rangers dodged a bullet by not having to play tonight.
Carolina, Columbus, the Hurricanes minus 220, the Blue Jackets plus 180, 6.5 total, minus 105 over, and minus 114 under. Where are you at here on this one, Alber?
I like the over here. Two teams that are kind of putting up offense against whoever they play. The Blue Jackets can't defend anybody. The Hurricanes have been pretty leaky defensively lately. I think you still have maybe not plus money, but right around even minus 105 or so. Yeah, I do like the over here. Just two teams putting up offense against everybody, neither of them really defending anybody. Yep, go with it.
Moretto, as I was clicking away there, I think I briefly saw you nodding your head on this over.
No, I just saw a tweet come across that I can't even repeat on here. I don't want to get the show canceled, but it was hilarious. The Canes, so Canes defensive play has dipped a little bit. I think that's more schedule related than anything. These teams played a couple weeks ago though, and Carolina just suffocated the life out of Columbus. They won 4-1. If they want to do the same here, I think they'll be able to. Columbus can be this exciting team that scores a bunch of goals, but they're just super inconsistent offensively, obviously very, very sloppy defensively, bad goaltending. They should be a dead over team. I just don't trust them enough against good teams like this to hold up their end of the bargain. So would lean that way, but did not bet in.
And finally, So Money, any thoughts for you?
Yeah, I'm more inclined towards the under than anything, but it's not a game that I'm going to have too much interest in. I think that both these teams are obviously capable of playing a wide open game, but on the road, I don't know if Carolina wants to necessarily against a weaker opponent. So so I'll be passing the game.
Okay, well, courtesy of Alber, we do have a bet here over 6.5 minus 105. That is the only one here, the only one with a bet on this game that adds to our card for today, making it 4 best bets total. We're gonna go to next one up here: Preds Wild to Nashville plus 114, Minnesota minus 137, 5.5 the total, minus 128 over, plus 104 under. And let's go with you, Moretto. Anything in this Minnesota Wild game?
I mean, not right now. I think we are getting a little bit of a discount on the total here because of a Noonan. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's better than Saros. But I will say that Saros' play has dipped and he's becoming a bit more erratic. And that's what happens when you play a guy into the ground. He's played a ton of hockey over over this year and like the last several years. And it's having a pretty big ability on his impact to perform at a high level consistently. And a Noonan has come over and he's been really good. He's looked comfortable. He's played some good games. And like, I don't think you have to worry about the defensive performance you're going to get in front of him, where he will be a little bit sheltered. The Preds are going to play a tighter defensive game. Obviously, they're not going to like overwhelm you offensively. Very comfortable playing this low event hockey at 5-on-5. Scores haven't exactly reflected that lately, but like obviously that's just down to some bad goaltending performances, either from Saros or against them. The underlying metrics support that this is still a dead under team, and now that there's like some sixes popping, I'm starting to get a little bit of interest, even though it is a Noonan. Wild's play has dipped defensively. They haven't been themselves, but like this is a pretty good matchup for them to sort of get back on track, especially with the Preds on a back-to-back. And offensively, they're just not getting anything going anyways. So this is a tough spot for them here. I did have a little bit of interest in Nashville, but like it's kind of been bet down a bit, and it's probably for the best that I'll stay off of this team, because every time you want to buy into them, they just show you why you shouldn't have. So I don't have anything yet, but like we're getting to a range right now where I wouldn't consider it widely available. There's just one, but there's a 6 minus 112 out there that's very, very, very enticing on this under that is calling my name.
You let me know. We can circle back to and we can add that to the card if that comes a little bit more widely available there, or something you say, you know what, fuck it, we got to go. Let me know. So money, anything for you here in this one? Is this one intriguing at all?
Well, Moretto wants to like tiptoe around it and be nice about it and stuff. Like I will say that Noonan is playing better than Saros right now, so I have no qualms about betting this under. I was just waiting for a 6 there because of the reaction to Noonan. We're good on the 6. Minnesota, Alex touched on it. They are struggling. They have dipped a little defensively, but the defensive dips were against Winnipeg, the game they lost 5-0, in Dallas, and against the powerhouse Ottawa Senators, right? So I'm not gonna blame them too much for that. In this game, there's really nothing Nashville can do to make me think that Minnesota can't get back to their defensive game. And similar to Comrie, we're seeing an overreaction. Noonan is not bad. He's going to give you better than average goaltending.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this game should be lined at a 5.5. We're getting a 6 because of the overreaction. So we're good on the under 6 here.
Under 6 minus 112. There you go.
I mean, if they're saying that's widely available, I'm in on it. Yeah. Obviously, like I bet it. So I just wasn't sure if we were good tracking at that number, given it's just the one book. But like I think a lot of people should have access to it. So
yeah. We'll add you to this one here, Moretto. Alber, you want to be added to this as well?
Yeah, I bet the under 6 minus 12. I didn't know if that's the route we were going to go, and we were going to be able to lock that in here. I agree with everything kind of both these guys said. As far as Nashville, like when they play these weaker teams, the Penguins, the Blues, the Rangers, they're suffocating the life out of these games. They're not giving up a whole lot. I expect that to continue here. And so many kind of touched on it yesterday as far as this price goes, right? Like with these backups, like a Noonan, I think we're a little higher on a Noonan than the market is right now. It was kind of similar to what he was saying yesterday about Comrie, right? Where it's like, all right, maybe you don't love the price with Hellebuck, but you know how much it's going to move to the backup. I think the total's gone too far. So especially as this becomes more widely available, like I bet the minus 112. Like I think that's good.
There you go. Another one added and another triple best bet on the day. Let's go. Next up, Sabres, Stars, Buffalo plus 176, Dallas minus 215, 6.5 total plus 116, over minus 142, under. Moretto, anything for you here in this one?
Oh, I'm trying to find back the, here we go, the comment from the beginning. Let's keep it clean. No more than one under. So I did not bet an under. I did not bet an under here. I would like to bet an under here though, because clearly we haven't bet enough unders today. The Sabres appear to have broken out offensively. They snapped that long losing skid. Now 3 straight wins, 17 goals. It looks like they're like completely broken out. Floodgates have opened. That's not the case. The offense hasn't actually ticked up. It was good against Chicago, but like the other 2 games were just 2 blow-up games from Binnington and Sorokin. That's all it boiled down to. They didn't generate more. In fact, they generated a little bit less than they were during that losing streak. Defensively, they've been really good, though, with Dahlin back in the lineup. I think that is legitimate. I think that is real. I think that is the way they need to play to win hockey games. Like, Stars have the firepower, but they really haven't been generating a ton. They're not playing this high-event hockey like they probably could. They've been very good defensively. They prefer to play in these 3-1 type of games. It suits them. It's how the Sabres have to play in these step-ups in class as well. The thing is, the reason I have not bet it yet, I really, really do like it, but I cannot do it if it is James Reimer. I need to see UPL starting. He has started, I think, a few games in a row now. I didn't add it to my thing here, but he has started 1, 2, 3 games in a row. They did have that Christmas break in between those, so maybe that's enough to give them pause to like start him again here, where it's kind of like 2 starts in a row because he had those 4 days off. But he typically does not get more than 3 starts in a row. At least he hasn't for a while, since back when Devin Levi was there. Since Reimer's been on the team, it's been about 3 starts and then get Reimer in for a game. So I am concerned that they do go Reimer here. I'm hopeful that they go UPL. We can bet an under. If they don't, though, then I'm just gonna sit this one out.
Okay. Alber, are you betting on this game?
I'm not. It's the last 2 teams the Rangers actually beat. I agree. You can't do anything with it as far as Reimer. As long as it's Reimer, you can't do anything here. I agree. I don't have a whole lot of interest anyway. But yeah, obviously both these teams stink because they both lost to the Rangers in the last 3 weeks.
So money, anything for you?
Yeah, I think we need goaltending information, but for me, it's more to do with pricing than like anything else. I actually don't have a problem playing the over with UPL. I think that he's been trending a little worse for me. It's just that if he does get confirmed, I think that the price on the over will get better. I don't have a problem playing the over with Ottinger either. I think that the way that Dallas is playing and generating lately, especially at home, I do like this over quite a bit. So most likely I will bet the over, but I can't confirm it right now because I'll get better pricing once we get the goaltending information. So just know that even if it is Ottinger against UPL, I'm still going to be on the over. We'll just get a better number for that over.
Okay, we'll hold off on that one for everyone's sake right now, but a couple different opinions there for people to take away. Next up, Flyers and the Sharks. Philly -178, San Jose +146, 6.5 the total, +100, over -122, under. So money, I'll let you start on this one. Your San Jose Sharks against the Flyers tonight. Yeah.
Poor kids. Like I love watching them play, but I mean they're just a bad team, right? Like yeah, they're just. And I saw Celebrini out to -200 now on his Calder Trophy there, but when he's crowned the next one. But I do like watching San Jose play. I would like to be on them at this number, but I just can't. Philly is inflated, but the problem is that the Flyers show up for every game or for most games. You know the consistent kind of game that you're going to get from them, whether it be against a good team or a bad team. They have a defined baseline. So even though the number's inflated, this is not a situation where I believe that the Flyers would take it easy, essentially, because that's what the Sharks need right now to be able to win games, is when their opponents are in a bad spot. So I will pass on this game. Again, would like San Jose. I'll probably end up watching the game in some form, but because Macklin Celebrini is unbelievable. But in terms of betting, I won't have anything on it.
Alber, will you be betting on this one?
I don't, and this price is honestly kind of crazy to look at and say that we're not all jumping on the Sharks, but the Flyers have been playing really well, and kind of like the Sharks, as feisty as they were, and like they're fun to watch on like they're just not good. Like they suck, and they're kind of going through one of those stretches right now where it's like they did the same thing kind of last year where they were absolute garbage for a while, and then they go on a heater and kind of look like they actually kind of know how to play, and now they're back to just being a complete bottom feeder. Granted, they almost beat the Rangers, but I have nothing.
Okay. Moretto, anything for you?
I missed another Rangers reference. I just caught the end of that.
My goal is to turn every game today into Rangers shit talk somehow.
It's easy. Just this team lost to the Rangers. This team lost, or the Rangers lost to this team. The Rangers lost to this team. The Rangers lost to this team. That's it. I don't think this number is crazy. I was hoping we would get a discount on the Flyers just because they haven't necessarily been winning a lot. And the Sharks have these, highlight reel plays and stuff, and they're getting some attention and they seem like this fun team, but they suck. And the Flyers are playing legitimately great hockey. Like you go back to November 23rd, their last 17 games, that's just over 5 weeks of hockey. They have a 60% expected goal share at 5-on-5. That's second in the NHL, basically a hair behind the Devils. They have been great at both ends of the ice. Offense is rolling, strong defensive hockey. They're just not getting the goaltending. They're playing 500 hockey over that stretch, and they're playing way too well to be 500 over that stretch. There will be some regression in terms of, I'm sure their play will regress, but there will also be regression to the mean in terms of their goaltending as well. And this is going to very much be a bet on team for me early in 2025. I do trust that their goaltending will come back a little bit. It can't be nearly as bad as it's been. Regardless of whether you think Urson is good or not, I'm starting to think that maybe he's not. He's not as bad as he's shown lately. Like he's turned in like a historically bad stretch. His last 6 starts since coming back from injury, almost a -12 GSAX. That is brutal. He had a better start in his last game against the Ducks. I do think he will turn it around a little bit. So, yeah, it's very expensive here, so I'm not going to get involved. But I will be betting on the Flyers a little bit more so going forward.
2 more games to go here tonight. Let's go next. The Canucks and the Flames. Vancouver -110. Flames -110. 5.5 total, -115. Over -105. Under. So money. I'll let you go here. Canucks tonight. What are you thinking?
It's coming off the rails here, you guys. This is a tough. This is a tough place to be, right? Like at least we know the Rangers suck.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Right? Like,
oh, boo-hoo.
Like we know the Rangers suck, right? They've had problems. Like the Canucks weren't supposed to be here. And the problem with the Canucks is that a lot of it is self-inflicted. Whereas, a lot of it is self-inflicted, right? You see your coach making a comment, your GM making a comment about how Pettersson needs to grow up a little, right? Like a guy that is about to start a huge contract, right? That's not something you want to hear. Quinn Hughes being out, he's the engine of this team, right? Like we saw it at the end of the Seattle game. The reason for that collapse, it was self-inflicted, but it had to do with guys playing way more minutes than they need to. You shouldn't be betting the Canucks basically without Quinn Hughes, because eventually throughout the game, what's going to end up happening is that you're going to, and we saw this in the Bruce Boudreau era, right? Where you're going to have this team give up leads, give up chances later as the game goes on, because they're just not suited to play the minutes throughout the game. They'll be without Pettersson too. Now, say whatever you want about him offensively, he is still very good defensively, and the Canucks are going to miss that. They have been missing that element as well. So you have a Canucks team that basically cannot play defense consistently throughout the game. They want to play offensively, and or try to generate more, but they also know they can't, and now you are relying on goaltending to basically steal your games. And stop me if you've heard this before. This seems like a previous era of the Canucks, and I thought that we were past
Home
that.
free. Yeah.
Sorry.
I thought you were home free.
Yeah, and like that's the plight of a Canucks fan, right? Just when you think that things are better, things are going to turn around, you eventually go back to a previous era, and that's the way I feel when I watch this team right now. Look at the betting for this game. The Canucks are dogs in Calgary, right? Just think about that for a second. And I'm not rushing to bet it, right? So they should be dogs to Calgary. Calgary is playing well for their standards, and that's well enough to beat the Canucks. You would think that the Canucks respond defensively after a game like Seattle where they just blew it, but sometimes you just don't have the horses. You're not capable of responding the way that you want. So there's no under there for me. There's no bet on the Canucks. I can't get on the over because of the way that both teams want to play the game. So I'm just gonna sit here and I'm just gonna pass this game and lament just what could have been with this team. Instead, we are talking about, and I mentioned this a few weeks ago about the prices on the Canucks actually missing the playoffs, and that's where we are with this team. They are in real grave danger at this point of missing the playoffs.
Grave danger of missing the playoffs, much like some other team on that someone else on the show roots for.
Yeah, they sold their soul to beat the Canucks in that game 6 weeks ago. That was like the beginning of the end right there. They won that, and then the entire season went off the rails by losing to Calgary. See, everything comes full circle. It all comes back to how bad the dog shit team is.
Did not think that we'd have a day this year on this season on this show where the Habs would have better vibes than both the Canucks and the Rangers. I really did not think we would get to this point in the season. Not that the Habs are good, but just the vibes are at least not in the absolute gutter.
I mean, we're gonna need a new sport to watch this spring. So many. What do you think? You want to get into fencing or something, like cricket maybe? Is Quidditch actually a thing? Can we start watching that?
Guys? Watch baseball.
Baseball's coming. Quidditch is low-key good.
We could get into rugby. I know that goes on. Aussie rules football is pretty sick. We could watch that.
No, I'm tennis right there, right?
That's true. Tennis. You can bet on tennis from 6 a.m. to you go to bed at night. Tennis is always on.
Albert, do you have any bets in this game?
I don't. I'm closest to the Flames, which is crazy to say. Don't think I've bet the Flames all year. So just the fact that I'm even close to wanting to do it, and so many touched on all the reasons. It's more of a Canucks fade for me. I obviously don't like the Flames, but the fact I'm even close to it tells me that maybe I should do it. I haven't done it yet. I'll see if I want to torture myself later by betting on a team that I think is really bad. But I mean, the Canucks, yeah. Just copy paste anything I say about the Rangers, and you can kind of insert that for the Canucks. But
Moretto, anything for you here?
No, this price would have been pretty unimaginable about a month ago. But here we are, where it kind of makes sense. Yeah, no, I got nothing in this one. We'll keep it short. We've gone off the rails on this one now.
Yeah. Okay, final game here. Let's go to the Hockey Club and the Oilers. Utah plus 176, Edmonton minus 215, 6.5 total, minus 115, over, minus 105, under. There was a day there, Moretto, where people were begging you to not be betting. What was that? Not be betting unders on Oilers games. Is this another opportunity to bet an under here today?
No, we did smack one that day right back in their faces though and won it, but that was a rare occurrence the way things had been going. They had been trending poorly there. This is not one though where I Oilers unders, I like when they're like within their weight class. They tend to tighten things up, but that doesn't apply here in these games. They're fine with things getting chaotic in these types of games if need be. Utah went through a spell of strong defense, but starting to think that was kind of fake. They've been a lot more leaky all season, and when they do go through these spurts of like tight defensive hockey, doesn't seem to last all that long. So against the elite offensive teams, they've been pretty torched too. Like they gave up a ton to Colorado, Dallas, Vegas. And, they're okay for some reason getting into these sort of track meets. They trust their offense against these teams. Probably shouldn't. But, yeah, they've been into real back and forth games. Could only look at the over here. But I think at some juice 6.5, 6.5 shaded towards the over, they're priced pretty fairly. So I've got nothing.
So money, anything for you?
Can we get over 6.5 to 115?
Let me see what we can do. We can do over 6.5 to minus 115. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did play the over, and I completely agree with everything Moretto was saying. And I bet on Utah last night, and I watched that game. And for whatever reason, this team they don't want to play the way that they need to play defensively, right? And again, a lot of that comes down to what I mentioned with the Canucks and with the teams that are where they are at this point in the season. Just because you want to do something doesn't mean that you have the horses to be able to do it, right? So you have the Utah coach talking about how he wants to play more of a defensive game. Well, if you were able to do that, you would be doing that, right? So there's a reason why Utah, as Alex mentioned, they give up a bunch of chances to the better offensive teams in this league because they don't have the horses to play the way that they want to play. So I did play the over. I think that again, the concern with Edmonton overs is that obviously we know they have the ability to play offensively, but they're also capable of shutting it down defensively as well. So that would be my only concern with the Oilers. But what I'm banking on here is that even if the Oilers do want to shut it down defensively, I think that they'll be fine with Utah wanting to play end to end if that's where they get to in this game. So I think that the Oilers have enough goals in them to drag this over, even if they don't necessarily want to.
Over 6.5, minus 115. Final breakdown here today. Alber, anything to add to what we've heard from Moretto and Somani here so far?
So I have nothing on this. I was leaning a little bit towards the under. I mean, even kind of lately, the Oilers have been tightening up against some of these bad teams. I just have no desire to step in front of us. Two teams that have both put up 6 on the Rangers this year. Shocking. I have nothing on it. I'm not going to ruin my New Year's Eve by betting an Oilers under and seeing this game be 4-1 late in the first period.
Okay, there you go. That's all the games for today. Here's what we have for best bets, sides, and totals. We've got Bruins moneyline plus 125, Preds Wild under 6 minus 114, Devils Ducks under 6.5 minus 111, Canes Blue Jackets over 6.5 minus 105, Jets Avalanche under 6.5 minus 114, Hockey Club Oilers over 6.5 minus 115. So there is our sides and totals for today, which you can find in the BetStamp app as Edgework HQ. Let's get to our anytime goal score parlay to close out here. I teased it earlier, and I'm going to go ahead and add this one if you guys are okay with it. But William Nylander, anytime goal plus 140 is the one. It's best price available on FanDuel. I mean, it's really mostly just a number, but if people want any kind of like support on this, Matthews obviously out again here. Nylander is playing in the full 2 minutes whenever they get power play opportunities. It's been a couple of games here where he's looked really good offensively. You say whatever you want about the rest of his game, but he just hasn't been able to capitalize there. He's been all over it, hasn't found the back of the net. We're just kind of getting the same number as what we're getting against like Washington, which I think is, a tougher out for him to be able to score. I mean, against Isles here today, I feel like he'll have some better opportunity, and he's going to be getting a lot of focus in terms of you're going to be the guy who's got to score us goals here, especially on lines with David fucking Camp, who can't find ways to stick handle or pass the puck. So Nylander anytime goal, that's the first one I'll add here. There's a bunch in the chat we can go to and see what they've got. But before we go to the chat, Moretto, you've been hot lately. Is there any anytime goal scorer that's sticking out to you? There's a couple. There's one that was suggested by the chat a couple of times here. That would be Jake Evans' anytime goal for the Habs.
Oh, he's speaking of hot. My God, that guy is scoring every single shot he takes right now. I don't know. I don't know if we can get behind. We're Jake Evans is more of a 10 to 15 goal scorer. He has like 10 goals in his last 10 games. Not actually, but like he's been scoring at an insane rate. I think that's due for some regression there. So I would agree with the sprinkle on the Rocket though. That's worth a little bit of a look at what is it, like maybe 150,000 to 1.
Better bet than Mika's advantage, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, fair enough. Circle back to me I'll find an anytime goal scorer. I will have one to add in here.
Okay.
But I didn't look close enough yet.
So Money Alber, any that you guys are looking at you want?
I'm just looking around trying to find something.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't.
You don't have to.
I haven't done any work on goal scorers. We had like 15 games tonight, so
there's too many games for me to
That's
get
all
into
good.
this yet.
Okay, I'll fire some out from the chat. You guys tell me if you like them or not. Also, Will S asking Canada USA pick. We can do that quickly after we do this parlay here as well. We'll brief run down that game. But Jordan says Pasternak plus 160. Here, this is separate. We can add Pasternak plus.
It's up to 180 now.
Oh, the FanDuel number on Pasta is better than what the rest of the market has too. So I like that one.
Perfect. That's
I'm just waiting
2.
for Sam to come in and say Connor McMichael.
Yeah.
Too late. We got Pasta now.
Yeah. Hal here says Bedard, Burt, Hall point is plus 700. So I saw FanDuel. Connor said something about FanDuel as a boost or whatever. Maybe if you can find a way to put those together. That's not for the anytime goal score, but Hal did throw that out there. So maybe if people are looking. Twins picks, Holmstrom goal tonight.
We have Nylander, so I don't know if we can do that now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if we wanted to. We've got so many games that I don't think we need to be SGPing the.
No, not if we want to round robin these.
Yeah. What else? John Beecher plus 900. Jordan also says.
Well, we got Pasta. Jordan's all in on the Bruins today.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, yeah. Let's get 8
McMichael these days. There you go.
I do know that.
Okay, well, that's all the ones that were suggested in the chat here. Outside of that, so is there anything else you guys are looking at? I'm trying to pull up on what we've got on the BetStamp Pro tool and see if there's anything here.
Someone's just said Marchenko. Right. That was one that I just looked at, and I was like, yeah, we need another one. I don't hate that.
Will Marchenko plus 230.
All right, I got.
You said all right. Yeah. You got one. What do you got?
Here. This guy. Slick Nick.
Revenge game.
Plus 300. Yeah, revenge. You guys fucking traded me to a team that made me their captain. How dare you put me in a great spot to succeed?
Okay, there you go. That's number 3. We'll go Suzuki in there, and then we need one more. Sam says Draisaitl. Insight says Tippett plus 550. So we got Draisaitl plus 110 and Tippett plus 550. Jordan Jackson Blake plus 500. Okay, we could pick one or two of those ones.
Well, we're at 3 right now.
We're at 3.
Okay, let's go.
There's no way Tippett's 550.
Okay. Hey, I'm looking. I'm trying to find.
No.
What is he?
Yeah, Tippett's, unless there's a different Tippett that we're talking about here.
Okay, then never mind. Let's go with Draisaitl. That's 4.
Yeah, Tippett's plus 200.
Maybe power play point. I thought he was doing the little reverse correlation San Jose money line with no, but they don't even. Yeah. Oh no, they do. Yeah, San Jose money line and tip it goal.
Okay. Here's the 4 for tonight. I think that this is good. This is a nice little 4-pack here. Nylander, Pasternak, Suzuki, and Draisaitl. There's your 4. 55
Probably the
to
best
1.
like 4 players we've had in a 4
honestly.
In a 4-player parlay. We usually have like some outlier or something like that in there, but yeah.
No, this is good. This is nice and tight. Keep it concise, to the point. I think that that's a good 4-pack for today. Final things here, gentlemen. Pulled up over on FanDuel what we've got for the number tonight. Canada, USA, the big New Year's match. Canada
hashtag wrong team favored.
No, hashtag right team favorite.
No.
US minus 115, 6.5, the total plus 102, over minus 124, under. We'll just go quick thoughts here on this one. Moretto, I'll start with you. What are you thinking?
Yeah, Canada. I normally, like, around this time every year, I normally can't stand the discourse around, oh, this guy didn't make it and this guy made it. Why didn't this guy make it? This guy deserves it. Like, it's like if you live in Canada or if you like follow the Canadian media, it is incessant and it is exhausting and it is usually stupid. Like splitting hairs and stuff. I will say the discourse this year and the criticism that they've gotten is very much deserved. They have left way too many very, very good players off this roster in favor of some players that definitely should not be there, that were only selected for the wrong reasons. I don't think Dave Cameron is a good coach, even though he is a St. Mike's alumni. He did go to my high school and he did coach at my high school. I think he's a bit of a cuck. So yeah, I don't think he deserves to be that head coach. Realistically, if we're being honest, he's got Oliver Bonk. Like, you got Oliver Bonk coming out and saying, like, yeah, I'm playing a position on the power play I've never played before, but like anything to help the team. It's like, well, what do you like? Why is that happening?
Yeah.
That should never happen. Yeah, I do think the U.S. wins tonight. The other thing I will say is that I didn't give a shit about the 4 Nations tournament whatsoever. I was like, this is stupid. It's a made-up tournament. Who cares? Like, the Olympics are great. The 4 Nations just can't compare. Now, seeing like all the chirping that the U.S. has done after Canada lost to Latvia, I'm all in now. I'm all in. Yeah. Let's let our big boys go there and show them who the greatest hockey nation on earth is. So yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm in as well. So Money, any thoughts here in this game?
Yeah, I don't know how you can bet against or bet on, I should say, Canada at this point against the States. Yeah, so, and like the price, the reason it's like deflated like this is because it's Canada and it's in Canada. But I don't think that the kids from the US have any problems. They won't have any problems handling Ottawa here. So I think that I think the US is the way to go.
Alber.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I hope we win for your guys' misery. I think I could name probably 3 players in the entire tournament. I admittedly watched no World Juniors. I think I could name probably 3 players, and one of them is obviously Gabe Perreault, who would be like the Rangers' best player at this point. Yeah, I hope that we win, but I couldn't even tell you what time the game starts, to be honest with you.
You stink. All right. Here's what we got for best bets today.
And when we win, I'm going to talk a bunch of shit. So just know that that's coming.
Yeah, I know. Bruins money line plus 125. Preds Wild under 6 minus 114. Devils Ducks under 6.5 minus 111. Canes Blue Jackets over 6.5 minus 105. Jets Avs under 6.5 minus 114. Hockey Club Oilers over 6.5 minus 115. And then our anytime goal scorer parlay, we've got 4 legs: Nylander, Pasternak, Suzuki, and Draisaitl. Those are the 4 for today. 55-1. Thanks so much to everyone who tuned in. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe here to the channel, Edgework HQ. We will be back on Thursday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time for more picks and previews. Back then, and I will no longer be in this hotel. Thank you so much to everyone who watched here today.
You put that kindly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could have been a lot crueler there. Happy New Year, everyone, too.
Happy New Year, everybody. Enjoy your night tonight. Enjoy all the games today. Good luck with your bets, and we'll see you guys back here on Thursday.